So this video is going to explain how you are going to be filling in your site observation checklist, and this is 20% of your customer service module. So let's begin. It's basically a way of capturing the customer journey from the beginning of the experience to the end. And if we just compare these two buildings here, we're looking at the outside of the building. On the left, you've got the Google headquarters. It looks very clean. It looks very new. It's sharp. It's well maintained. It has got fresh greenery on the outside. It's got signage. The one on the right is old, derelict, dilapidated, and for all we know, there could be a business behind that metal door. The signage is not very clear. We can't really read it. What is positive is that the doorway is not blocked and there is a way through. However, there is a trip hazard if that door was open, as you can see at the bottom of the doorway. So this is just the two extremes of how a business can present itself. And when you are observing your business, you're looking at the outside of the building and how it's presenting itself and all the different ways they offer a service to the customer. So it could be a car park, it could be ramps for wheelchair users, there could be steps, there could be signage, there could be no signage. This is the type of thing that you're going to be observing. Now, the other thing you're capturing as part of the observation is the staff experience. So as a customer, you're looking at different parts of a staff behavior and how they present themselves. So is their hair brushed? Do they look well? Are they clean? Are they smiling? What their body language is? How their uniform is presented? Is it unironed? Is it anything missing? Do they have a name badge? Little things that will demonstrate to you their professionalism, how they're going to be able to handle your query. These are all impressions that staff will give you as a customer, or you as a staff member give to customers. Do they smell? Is there something in their teeth? Have they got coffee breath? Have they got a smoker's breath? What are the physical attributes of the staff member that looks well or doesn't look well? You're recording all these type of things. So this girl, she's very friendly, obviously looking. This lady looks a little bit tired. She's not wearing a uniform. Will she be friendly when you talk to her? These are all things that you need to be thinking about. And obviously then the most severe form of someone not looking very well. This guy's disheveled. His hair is not brushed. His tie is off to the right. His jacket's coming off. It's just an extreme example, but just to show you. The other thing you need to be looking at for a staff member, especially when you're doing a Zoom observation, which you will be doing on Friday, is are you looking for the appropriate language and voice tone of the person on the reception? Are they being professional? Are they saying good afternoon, nice to meet you, maybe using the name of the company? Can you hear their smile? So it's very similar to when you're talking to somebody on the phone. You're applying the same kind of ideas on the Zoom call as well. Are they doing a professional greeting? Can you hear their smile? Do they sound distracted or stressed? Are they under pressure? How do you feel when you're listening to them? Do they evoke a feeling of professionalism in you? Do you feel like this person's going to deal with your query well? Do you feel like they might forget you? Do they feel like they might be cross with you? How do you feel? These are all just little things to think about. And when we're filling out that checklist, it's going to help. So customer service policies of the company itself that you are assessing, do they have any? Are there any for specific needs of customers? So do they have dealing with blind customers, dealing with deaf customers, anyone who are disabled, needs special access? Are there lifts available? Is there a ramp? Is there a step up? If there are steps up, is there an alternative option? Maybe people with buggies. Are there easier ways of getting in or out the building? When you're there, is the signpost very well? Are there flyers? Is there information? Things like that you need to be thinking about. So at the end of this, you're going to be writing your own thoughts. So if it was a good experience, think of yourself as a consultant and that you've been brought in to assess their customer service. So if it was great experience, then you're saying, well done, they're doing a great job, they should keep up the good work. If they're doing regular customer service training, to keep it up. If it wasn't a good experience, then you might recommend refresher training for the customer service aspect of their business. And also a reminder when you're writing your conclusion that the impact of bad service to a business, obviously you're not going to go back there. You might actually lose money. So at the end of the day, it's very key to a successful business. So they're the aspects that you're going to be thinking of when you're filling this out. So this is the tourism and travel version, but depending on what class you're in, this will still apply to you. But just for simplicity's sake, you're going to be filling out this, what you're observing, what company you're observing. So for example, if you're watching McDonald's, your name goes there, McDonald's or Dublinia or a site that you are assessing, the name goes there, where it's located, and the number of people it can accommodate. If it's a cafe, what's the max covers it sits? If it's a tourist destination, what's the max amount of people they're allowed inside? How many staff does it have? And the date and the time of the observation. Now you're going to be observing for an hour, so you just need to note down the time. Then together in class, we made up this table of information, and literally you are highlighting, ticking, you are making it obvious this is the one that you're choosing. How many spaces? You could do this, you could color it in with a highlight pen, you could delete all the others on the line and just leave the one that you want to say. So, for example, when you're looking at a business, you're checking out the car park, and these are all the areas in the car park that you might want to pay attention to. Same for the building, you're assessing the building, the staff, how they're presented, and the equipment. So, for example, if it's a tourist destination and they need to give you a dictaphone or something to listen to as you're walking around for a self-guided tour, how is the equipment? Is it clean? Is it falling apart? Is it working? Is it not working? I know the National Gallery give you, well, you can ask for one of these audio guides. So that's just an example of equipment. The type of customer contact. So this section, what you're essentially saying here is, in my observation of an hour, I noticed that there were 5 people that interacted with staff. 2 emailed, no post, nobody phoned, and then say 3 arrived on social media or Zoom, okay? And if they arrived in any other way, if they, I don't know, ballooned in from the sky, put that in there as another way of a customer having contact with the business. So you're literally writing down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a number here, and how they contacted the business. Then the date and time of the observation, that you're just repeating that again. So the type of customer contact, again, you're saying 2 in person and 3 by Zoom. Okay? The reason for the contact, what is the reason why these people contacted the business you're observing? They had a query, they were buying something, they were booking something, they were seeking directions, they were there to complain, compliment, or other. So you just note down, if for those 5 people, 2 queries, 1 buying and 2 were booking, and then that covers all your 5 people that you observed. Then you're looking at the customer behavior. When they were buying the object, were they hurried? Were they stressed? Were they angry? So you're literally putting an X here to show how the person was. The query, they were very relaxed when they were querying, or when they were seeking directions, they seemed a little bit agitated. Maybe they were looking for the toilet. Who knows, right? So that's just a way of explaining their behavior when they were asking for what they needed. So then you're going to summarize. Customer 1 was complaining because of a lack of parking, for example. Customer 2 was giving a compliment because they said the reception was clean and welcoming. Number 3, they were seeking directions to the toilet and they were very relaxed. It's just another way to describe what you observed, and each line is each customer you observed. Then you have the provider behavior, the staff behavior. How did they respond to that particular query? So when the first customer queried about something, they responded with being very knowledgeable. They were friendly. So you can do XXX for these areas to show what applies. Or they were distracted, they were frowning, they closed body language. So that's just another little way of showing how they, the staff, behaved. So after you've done your observation or before, you can find out if the company has a customer service policy and just do a brief explanation. No, they don't. Yes, they do. Yes, they do have a diversity or disability policy. So just a little area for you to explain if they do or don't. And then the very last thing, just from the observations of those 5 interactions, you want to see if the customer was listened to. Did the staff member observe their body language or tone of voice? Did they question or verify what they were asking for? And did they show any empathy? It all depends on what the customer was seeking or if they were complaining. And it's a D for dissatisfied. The customer left and they were dissatisfied with the response, or the customer left saying they were very satisfied because the complaint was handled really well. Okay, so this is just another little way of explaining the interaction and the result of the provider behavior. So if you go from the very beginning, you've got the one staff member who dealt with the customer in a really well, professional way. The customer left very happy. Or the customer approached the staff member, they were very agitated, they were complaining. The staff member didn't handle it very well. The customer left unhappy. So you're just really showing the process there. The next section is an evaluation of customer care that was observed. So you want to basically say they left unhappy. The staff member might need to be refresher trained on customer service. That's the type of thing that I'm looking for here. An evaluation of customer care that was observed with recommendations. So something that you saw that worked really well, and your own conclusions about it. And that's basically all that you have to do for your observation for the hour. And some of it you can fill in now, and some of it you can only fill in after you've observed for that hour. So ultimately what you're trying to achieve is you're showing quite methodically provider behavior, a customer behavior, and the results of it. Okay, I hope that helps. Thanks for listening.